Hello and welcome back. What we have on the screen in front of us is the new instrument by Adventure Sounds called Strummed Ukulele. This is a fairly small 200 and something megabyte sample set, about 260 megabytes, consisting of up and down strokes, major and minor chords of a closely mic'd ukulele. The interface is incredibly simple. You've just got this lovely pinky watercolor look with a big text on it saying Strummed Ukulele, and there are two controls, both which can be learnt as MIDI CC controls. You've got the reverberation here, which is the algorithmic reverb built into Contact, and you've got a stereo and mono switch. When the red light is on, you're using stereo samples, and when the red light is off, it is summing the stereo left and right field to make a monophonic sample. That means you can, of course, place it better in a stereo field if you wanted to do that. As I said, it's close mic'd, so the left and right separation is actually quite good, and it does seem to bring it out a little bit, having a stereo recording. The keyboard layout is very, very simple. Down the bottom, where the yellow keys are, you can see here, by hitting the C, you do a downstroke on the ukulele, and by hitting the D, you do an upstroke. The green keys up the octave above that, from C to B, represent the major chords. So we've got C up to B major chromatically. So that's very nice. And then above that, you've got the further octave, which goes from C to B again, which is the C to B minor chords, again chromatically sampled. The more astute of you will have noticed that that A minor has a little bit of a pitch issue there, which needs to be corrected. The developers are well aware of this, and I suspect a new version will be out pretty soon with a corrected version of that A minor chord. I can't quite work out if this is using round robins or not. There does seem to be some differences if you hit the keys multiple times. I'll just play this C minor several times and you can see what I mean. My ear says there's about 3 round robins there, but I may be wrong, and maybe the developers would like to shout out and tell us exactly what's in there. But certainly there isn't that machine gunning problem you've got with a lot of these small volume libraries like this. So that's quite nice. You've got the 2 octaves, and then you've got little brown keys you can see just above those 2 octaves, which is the C and the D, and what you've got there is some muted chords. And then for the D, some round robins of squeaks. So I suspect the squeaks you'll want to use essentially in post-production. You'll play your MIDI line, you'll play your chords, and then you'll just edit over the top and put a few squeaks. Because the playing of this instrument does require 2 hands in order to be able to try and replicate the sound of a strummed ukulele. So how do you play this? Well, it's very simple. You can alternate between up and down strokes by using the C in the D in the octave below middle C, and then you can play your major or minor chords in the octaves above middle C, from middle C upwards. So you hit the downstroke and you can start playing down chords. Hit the D and you play the up chords. And then when you put some rhythm on that, you can alternate using your left hand simply between the up and the down, and then add a little bit of excitement to it. You could program these in quite fastidiously, but actually the round robin samples and the slight variation you get from up and down means actually I found that you can just literally play the C and the D in a rhythmical fashion along with your strumming, and actually the sound is pretty authentic. Unlike many libraries that use octaves to do up and down, I've seen a few libraries where, for instance, the first C is the upstroke and the C above is the downstroke that allows you to do kind of rapid strumming. The Waves Factory guitars do this, for instance. They've chosen to do key switches. I would actually love them to also do an option, a version of this, which has the secondary playing style, where, for instance, you've got 2 octaves of the major and 2 octaves of the minor, and that allows you to do those up and down, alternating left and right hands. That would be really handy if they could do that. But what we've got is this key switch for the time being, and actually does work very well. So I'll just play some little strums and you can see what it sounds like. So excuse the playing errors there, I forgot what I was doing. But you can hear that's actually not a bad uke sound fitted into a mix. That would actually work very well. So for 20 quid, you're actually getting a good, well-sampled ukulele. You can put the reverb up a little bit and it's a nice warm reverb. And that reverb is like a large room. So you can really feel that there. I suspect if you hit on the spanner, you can also go in and change that reverberation in the inbuilt Contact FX engine. So be aware of that, which is nice. And the stereo to mono switch, here is the stereo sample for C major. And now in mono. So the stereo field and mono field works really well there. I quite like that, having that as an addition, which is quite nice. So this is an incredibly small footprint, 200 megabytes occupies your memory, and if you play with the read functions within Contact, you can probably reduce that a little bit. But to be honest, 200 meg's nothing. The ukulele plays very well. It's very responsive. There's no problems with the samples, apart from that pitch issue with the A minor that I think needs to be looked at. But it's a very responsive little instrument. It plays very well, and I think if you want a little bit of ukulele in there, it's a really good option. So check them out. Strummed Ukulele by Adventure Sounds.